I want to share with you PenFed Business Loan Alternatives for Bad Credit. The thing is that PenFed pulls Equifax, and but at the moment, PenFed does not issue business loans. So what we have done is that we are actually have looked out for credit unions that also pull Equifax and have business loan underwriting guidelines that are similar to PenFed's. So here's a review I want you to pay attention to. So the first PenFed Business Loan Alternative for Bad Credit is Service. So Service is a great credit union, and it's been in existence for many years. Service, of course, like PenFed, has a military connection, but you don't have to be in the military either biologically, professionally, or geographically to qualify for a Service credit union membership. And let's talk about the business loans. So when you think about Service business loans, you actually have several types of loans. You have SBA loans, you have business lines of credit, you have commercial vehicle loans, you have equipment financing, and you also have it really depends on what you're looking for, but you also have commercial mortgages. So you don't really have like a business term loan. The closest that we have seen is a business line of credit. Now, what we have seen also is that Service can actually transform this business line of credit into a business term loan if you actually qualify. But the cool thing is that Service does check Equifax, and Service actually issues those business loans real fast. One thing I want to say also is that Service wants you to be in business for at least 2 years before applying, and you got to have sales of $10,000. That's the minimum. So you can see here that your bad credit does, like in bad credit, you need to have a credit score of 500 minimum. You got to be a Service credit union business member as well. Okay. Now, if you have any question, you can contact right now Service at 1-800-296-4644, 1-800-296-4644, or you can email them businessserviceslending2@servicecu.org. Or you can just fill out a form also on their website. By the way, Service is actually available to anybody, so not a problem at all. You can qualify. You don't have to be in the military. You can see on the screen here, it says that you only need to be to donate to a charity like the Financial Fitness Association to actually qualify, or the American Consumer Council to qualify. So this is really great. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We're having a quick convo about PenFed Bad Credit Business Loans Alternatives. Another credit union that we love a lot is Logix. So Logix also pulls Equifax, and Logix will qualify you if you have a minimum credit score of 525. And so what we love about Logix is that Logix is very generous in terms of business loans, because this credit union will qualify you up to $500,000. This is just fantastic. Okay. Now this $500,000, I have to qualify that though. So you have business line of credit that actually go from $1,000 all the way to $50,000. They have a capital access line of credit where you have credit limit that go from $1,000 all the way to $500,000. If you're looking for a business term loan, you're not going to get $500,000. You're getting maximum $50,000. Here the terms are up to 5 years, and this is a fully amortizing loan, by the way. It's just fantastic. You also have a capital access term loan where basically Logix will qualify you up to $500,000, and so this is kind of cool. Now, what I want to say here, what is the difference between a business like a regular loan versus a capital access line of credit or a capital access term loan? Everything revolves around the relationship you have with Logix. If you have a long-standing relationship with Logix where you are actually drawing cash into your business checking account for a while, then you could qualify for a larger business loan alternative. And that's, again, the minimum credit scores here goes from 475 all the way to 525. So this is basically the perfect PenFed Bad Credit Business Loan Alternative. Now, in terms of Logix is an open, nationally available credit union, so anybody can qualify, by the way. Okay, but again, you can see on the screen here that you don't have you just need to you don't need to live in a certain geography to qualify. Okay, you can qualify by joining the American Consumer Council or the League of American Homeowners, and you are good to go. Now, if you have any question, you are interested in membership, and you have any question, you can call Logix at 1-800-328-5328. Again, the number is 1-800-328-5328, and they're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. Pacific, and Saturday, 9 a.m. through 3 p.m. Pacific. So this is kind of cool. But overall, this is a great credit union that is fantastic. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm talking to you about PenFed Bad Credit Business Loan Alternatives. The third credit union I want to talk to you about is called BlueFed. So BlueFed is actually, like PenFed, pulls Equifax. And BlueFed will qualify you with a minimum FICO score of 500. This is really good. And BlueFed, what we love about we love two things about BlueFed. BlueFed has excellent customer service. That's number one. And BlueFed actually tends to approve loans and lines of credit real fast. Really fast. We're talking about 3 days from the time you apply to the time they actually release the funds to you. This is really good. But again, this only comes if you have established a great relationship with BlueFed. What we love about BlueFed also is that they tend to be very generous in terms of the loan amounts. So BlueFed will actually approve loans that go all the way to $250,000. So if you are looking for a PenFed Bad Credit Business Loan Alternative, you can get it through BlueFed, and you can actually borrow all the way to $250,000. And so when we talk about BlueFed in general, you have all kinds of business loan options, not just business term loans. You have commercial mortgages, you have commercial vehicle loans, you have term loans, of course, you have commercial lines of credit, you have construction loans, and you have equipment loans. So what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that this lender is very active. BlueFed is very active. And if you want, like, let's say you applied for a business loan, right? And you can't qualify for whatever reason, you can apply for another type of loan. So the possibilities are there. Okay. In terms of joining BlueFed, I want you to look right on the screen, and anybody can qualify for a BlueFed membership. This is totally fine. And it's all about just, it even says here, and you can donate to the BlueFed Foundation. So there's a Blue Foundation where you just deposit like $5 to $10. And you're in. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what kind of job you do. Anybody can qualify. And usually you need to have a military connection to actually qualify for BlueFed membership. But if you don't, you can also just get it. You can get it through other means. So if you have any question, let us know in the comment section, and we'll get back to you in terms of how you can qualify for BlueFed membership. The next PenFed Bad Credit Business Loan Alternative I want to share with you is Fairwinds. And Fairwinds, what we love about Fairwinds is that Fairwinds not only pulls Equifax as PenFed, Fairwind will approve you if you have a minimum FICO score of 500. So nothing complicated here. 500, that's the minimum that this organization wants to look at, Fairwinds. And we love the fact that Fairwinds tends to be very generous in terms of the business term loans that it issues. First of all, we love the fact that it is very diverse. It gives you 6 kinds of business loans. So we have business auto loans, we have business credit cards, we have commercial real estate, we have equipment financing, and we have a lot of stuff. And one thing I want to say here is that you need to understand that when we talk about let's say Fairwinds, you need to understand that this credit union is really fast. So make sure you have all your paperwork before reaching out to them. Okay, make sure you have your business plan, your financial statements. You make sure you have your projections. If you have no revenue, then you have projections. You need to have those elements, okay? Because again, Fairwinds is really fast. So the thing is that with the Fairwind business loan, you can do a lot of stuff. You can buy equipment, you can buy small machinery and tools. You have multi-purpose activities. You do have a lot of stuff. So the bottom line here is that make sure you do your research before going there, okay? And so Fairwinds actually will work with you in the long run. This is what we love a lot. And basically, one thing you also need to pay attention to is your bad credit. In other words, you want to check your credit before a few days or a few weeks before you apply to Fairwinds, because this is something they pay attention to. So even though the credit score, the minimum is 500, they still want to see that you actually have a good financial responsibility anyway. So in terms of joining Fairwinds actually is an open membership national credit union, as you can see on the screen here, and basically anybody can join Fairwinds. It even says on the credit union's page that anybody can join Fairwinds, not a problem at all. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about PenFed Bad Credit Business Loan Alternatives. I want to talk to you about another credit union that you will love. That's NIHFCU. So NIHFCU does a lot of stuff in terms of first of all, it pulls Equifax such as the PenFed, and it will approve you if you have a minimum FICO score of 525. So we are deeply in bad credit territory here. And when we talk about NIHFCU, we are talking about a constellation of business loans, most of which revolve around collateralized loans. So you have like equipment loans, you have commercial real estate loans, so you rarely have like unsecured business line of credit. And so you, even if you do, you have you are limited. Let me give you an example. First of all, with NIHFCU, they do have a working capital line of credit, and here you're speaking about it's not a loan, it is a line of credit, which means you tap into the loan, you pay it back, and it replenishes itself. Now you can ask NIHFCU to convert part of that business line of credit into a business loan. They've done it before, they will do it for you, not a problem. As long as you are in good standing with the authorities, this is really fine. And one thing I also want to do here is that when we talk about NIHFCU, and I want to show you real quick, anybody can join. You can see on the screen here that anybody can join. You don't have to have affiliation with anything. You don't have to be biologically related to anything. You don't have to do anything. It's really important to understand that you have to, of course, you need to make sure that you are a business, because if you want to get a business loan, you really need to be a business, and you have to be in good standing, because NIHFCU will ask your certificate of good standing from state authorities. So if they ask, just make sure that whatever is on that page is totally positive. It must be positive, because otherwise they're not going to grant you this business loan. But they are really fast. NIHFCU is really fast when underwriting business loan applications. And the cool thing is, again, as I said before, this business loan checks Equifax, but also reports your data to the Business Credit Bureau. So this is really good. I want to talk to you about Highway. So Highway is another credit union that is a PenFed Bad Credit Business Loan Alternative lender. And so when you think about Highway, I want you to think about a lender that's constantly changing, that's constantly adapting. We love that a lot. And so Highway does give you a variety of loans to help you manage cash flow, expand your business, purchase equipment, and much more, right? So with Highway, you have commercial real estate, you have equipment financing, and so this is really good. You have vehicle financing, you have lines of credit, you have so it really depends on what you're looking for. And one thing for sure is that you are able to double the loan amount that you get if you are able to establish a great relationship with Highway. So again, please do not underestimate the importance of a relationship, because this is what makes up the whole world that we're in right now. You know, whether we're speaking about something financially related or not financially related. The bottom line here is what? What's the bottom line? The bottom line is, if you take organizations such as Highway, they actually have the same underlying underwriting criteria that PenFed has. Now, Highway doesn't have a military connection, which is fine anyway, because some people don't have military connections, and so they actually feel excluded from those credit unions. So you have a stellar credit union such as Highway that's going to actually help you out if you're looking for some kind of help. So this is important to mention. And I also want to talk about the fact that if you go to Highway, you can be approved all the way to $250,000. This is totally fine. But the bottom line here is that you need to really have a situation where you have your balance sheet, you have your income statement, you have your cash flow statements. You got to have that. You might have your tax returns. Okay. So if you have any question, just contact 651-259-2999. And so 2999. So this is the 4449. So you are able to actually see a lot of stuff, to see a lot of situations that are changing. They're changing you wholeheartedly. So this is really good. Let me give you a few pro tips before we close to this conversation. So when you think about PenFed Bad Credit Business Loan Alternatives, it's important to understand that PenFed does not issue a business loan, and PenFed also pays attention to the health of its account. So if you have, let's say, if you are trying to get a business loan and you want to get it from a credit union that's really lenient, I'll share with you into this conversation a few of them. Highway being one of them. You have NIH, FCU. So you have all those firms have excellent customer service, and they will work with you. They will actually serve as your back office to make sure that you have the financing needed to apply for your business loan from Fiverr or another lender. Now, one thing I also want to say here is that when we talk about PenFed being a credit union, make sure that whatever credit union you choose, you have a long-standing relationship with that credit union. It's not easy to actually just apply for a membership and 2 weeks down the road you apply for a business line of credit. It doesn't make sense unless you actually have good credit and you can afford that. But for most people, it will be too much. It will be too complicated, and something that people don't think about. So please, when we talk about pro tips, if you want to apply for a PenFed Bad Credit Business Loan, make sure that you know exactly how much you want. Make sure that you are able to repay the loan. So it's not just about how much you want. It's about being able to repay the loan real fast, because things change, situations change, but you gotta be able to have this sort of buffer. So how much you can pay, how much you can actually repay, like in the balloon payments. And one thing I want to say here is that you need to understand, basically, if you want to be approved for a larger business loan amount, you have to constantly go back to the bank where you already have a relationship, because it doesn't make sense to actually go to external bank if you already have a relationship with one. Just work with that one to get the business line of credit that you need. And again, it doesn't matter the industry you're in, it doesn't matter the niche you're in. You are going to get right now the kind of blessings that you need to actually carry things forward. All right, let's quickly recap here. So basically, I was just talking to you about PenFed Bad Credit Business Loan Alternatives, and I just share with you a few of them. I share with you basically a service. We have a Logix. We have businessloans.com. We have also here. So we have NIH, FCU. We have Fairwinds, and we have Highway. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.